Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Steven, aka Toymanoids, and this is my first video as Toymanoids on my YouTube channel. This is a channel I'd started many years ago. It's where I used to post my movies and videos I made, and since then I've joined a group called Wages of Sin, CINE, and that's become, along with me and the other members, where we post our movies and the things we've made. So this channel was kind of sitting, and I thought it was a good opportunity to pick it back up and turn it into my toy-centric channel, where I could focus on toy reviews and anything to celebrate toys and just talk about toys. So this is where I'm going to be from now on. And I don't really have a clear vision of what this channel is going to be. I just know it's a place I want to celebrate toys, talk about toys, and engage with the toy community, and just, have a place to kind of dump my thoughts. See if anybody wants to listen or pipe in, or I don't know. We'll see. We're going to figure this out together. So when I'm not collecting toys and talking about toys, I'm a graphic designer, and I'm also a movie maker, videographer. You can find me on Fiverr. I do movie posters and book covers, album covers, any sort of artwork I like to create, and it's something I enjoy. I'm also a movie maker. I mentioned the other channel, Wages of Sin. We have lots of shorts, mostly kind of horror, sci-fi, and we have some features also. So something I enjoy is movie making. I enjoy watching film, but it's the weird thing is, for this channel, I kind of want to keep it real, kind of keep it raw. So I don't think you're gonna see a lot of special editing. I'm definitely gonna cut out like the downtime, or if I'm just going a lot. But you're not gonna see a lot of like special effects and things popping up all over the screen. It's really just gonna be me, and if I'm out hunting, I'll just be holding the camera and showing you what I'm looking at. Or if I'm doing a review, it's me holding up a figure talking about it. For now, we'll see where it goes, but I kind of want to keep it real. So we'll see. I'm a child of the 80s. I grew up all through the 80s. I definitely love vintage toys. The big thing I collected when I was little, when I was growing up, was G.I. Joe. Was the one I had the most of. It wasn't my favorite. I'd say Star Wars was my favorite. I definitely had a lot of Star Wars, but G.I. Joe went the longest, and I had a lot. I mean, there's so many toys of G.I. Joe that I was spoiled, and I got a lot of G.I. Joe. This is interesting because I always kind of thought, like, oh, I'm the only one who has done this, but I've since learned that through talking to other people, this has happened to a lot of people. You hit those teen years, and you think you're done with toys, you've outgrown toys, it's time to move on. So I found a vintage toy store that's kind of popped up here in Augusta, Georgia, and I said, I'm gonna sell my Star Wars figures, my Star Wars collection. And met with a guy, and he was excited because I had some good stuff. I lived over in Germany growing up, so I had some rare stuff, some things that weren't over here, that wasn't released over here in the States. I sold my entire Star Wars collection for $500. So this is back in the 90s, and I was a teenager. That seemed like a lot of money. Looking back on it now, it's like, oh my goodness, what did I do? I mean, I have had figures in that are worth $500 by themselves. But, it happened. You live and you learn. About a year or so after that, I sold my entire G.I. Joe collection, which had the Technodrome, and that was probably the big one, the Technodrome, and all the figures and weapons and accessories. I just thought I was done. So and there's things like we gave away like my He-Man figures growing up. I'd given things away to friends or just got rid of stuff. So toys I didn't have a lot anymore. I was growing up, or trying to grow up in my mind, and wasn't doing a lot of toys. And then Star Wars came out with the Power of the Force line, and I just like, man, these are cool. Star Wars is back, I'm like, I'm just gonna buy a couple figures. Like I wanted to get Boba Fett and made, somebody else. And I got Boba Fett. It's like, this is awesome. And then the Galoob Micro Machine Action Fleet came out. I'm like, well, I want to get an A-Wing, that's one of my favorite vehicles from the Star Wars line. So I got an A-Wing. I'm like, well, I can't just I got to get an X-Wing to go with it. I got to get a TIE Fighter. And then slowly I was back into the toy game. I was getting all the Star Wars figures when they came out. All the Micro Machine releases, anything Star Wars, I was back in. And really it was like only about a year of downtime from when I had sold my stuff to when I was back in. And my family was like, what are you doing? You just got rid of it and you're going to jump right back in. So I started my collection pretty much, I'd say from 97 on. Now since then, I've since sold a lot of that original Power of the Force collection. At the time I was doing a buy one to keep on card and one to open. And it became too much. I realized I'm not a on-card collector. It's almost like for me, it was like this responsibility to keep them pristine and protected. And I didn't want that. I wasn't enjoying that. It's like they're stuck in storage. I'm not looking at them. And it wasn't fun to me. I enjoyed the loose figures. So I kept those, and but I've since kind of narrowed it. As new figures have come out, I've replaced and decided what I like, don't like. But now collecting is definitely, it's always evolving. I'm always kind of buying new, getting rid of old, selling, trading, which led me like to sites like, doing things on eBay and now Whatnot. So the collection is ever evolving. Some of the things that I collect now are things I liked as a kid, but I didn't really buy a lot of. When I was little, I liked G.I. Joe because of the articulation. I could do all the action stuff I wanted to do. And some of the figures that were neat, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, didn't have a lot of articulation. You're kind of stuck with the very few things you could do. Though they looked really cool, I'd never liked that you didn't have a lot you could do with them. Now that I'm older, I'd like to have them sitting on my desk or on a display. The articulation isn't so much important. I like the weird sculpts and the artistry and the paint and the designs of them is what is appealing to me. So now I'm more into like if I'm buying things that are vintage, it's more the weird stuff. I mean, definitely things that I had a few of growing up, but not a great amount. So I'm like, I love Toxic Crusaders is probably one of like my top lines, and Humanoids, which is, you can see my name is kind of based off, it's not kind of, it definitely is based off the Inhumanoids logo. I like just the weird stuff, Mad Balls. As you can see, anything that's behind me, you can see what I'm into. So that's what I'm collecting now. And we're going to go, I think, some adventures in this coming year and see what we can find and see what I want to add to my collection and where do I want to take my collection. So this is a fun start for me, a fun start for 2025. Hopefully it's going to be fun for you to watch and see where I go on my toy adventure. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to doing some toy hunting. It's going to be new to me because I rarely film live out in public. I'm usually pretty to myself when I'm walking through the stores. I don't like to engage or talk to people. So it'll be interesting to see where this goes, and definitely want to talk, if I go to some vintage toy stores, I want to talk to the owners and things like that. So it's going to be new for me and hopefully fun for you. But thanks for checking this out, and definitely come back for more. I'm going to try to do a video maybe once a week. I will have one more, like if you're watching today, it'll be tomorrow. So it'll be one video out of this. I'm going to do my top 10 pickups of 2024. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for checking this out, and we'll talk to you later.